Hello, I'm back. Hey, sorry about this. Once again, like this computer, it keeps like crashing on me. So yeah, this is like the guy that I actually like the chance to redo, based on the the original CEO model. Since I was like talking about it, I was just like while I was waiting for everything to reboot, I was just like, why not like bring it out so I can show you guys. So outside of that, like I just want to go like really quickly because we wasted so much time. My artist of the week is actually Riyad Kasim from Johannesburg, South Africa. I think this guy's totally amazing. I just love like scenes with battle. Well, I open up those things, but yeah, for the sake of time, you guys should definitely check it out. Uh, it's just like Ria HD, and then you get like an Instagram, which is this. Facebook, it's this dude, and yeah, like a web page. But you can find like much more of this guy. Like pretty much, I know he's like on different social media over here. So yeah, so that's for that. For the instruction and stuff like that, I'm just gonna go full. I just ordered this through Kickstarter. I think it was like almost like a year to come in or something. And then it's like well, they say like female action pose, but it's for me it's just like action pose for sculptures. And I'm just gonna open up like a little bit of the. So basically, it's all kind of a. It's I guess it's nude, but it's more silhouettes of like different action pose. And I think for a sculptor like us that want to do model and pose, that could be like a great reference. And it's all kind of pages and pages and pages of some of the poses are like more redundant, but yeah, you should just check out. By the way, I'm not like sponsored by them or anything like that. I just feel it's a great reference that could help out everybody. But it's Master of Anatomy. I know that they got like different books, and yeah, I think you can order it through their website now. But that's it. So, like I was saying, for some reason I lost the chat. So wait up until you talk to me. But yeah, today I'm just gonna show you like the process of not my mission. Okay, of what I do once I finish my decimation in ZBrush. Um, I'm just gonna wait for the chat to restart. But basically, the first thing that I do is I'll just export in OBJ in ZBrush, which I assume you guys know pretty much how to do that. So and then I'll open up the software called Autodesk Mesh Mixer. It's a free software. You guys can look it up, and I just load my model. And as for right now, that's pretty much it. This one, like back then, wasn't really made to be printed. It's just something that I wanted to do afterwards. I made it, so that's why it's kind of messy, and I got like a lot of errors. That's what you see, like those blue things. So I'm just gonna show you what kind of process that I do for a resin printer when I want to print. So basically, one of the first thing I'll check out is the scale of this object, because you'll see like many of the operations that in Mesh Mixer are really dependent on the size, and they're used like real world metrics. So if you say I want a hole of 2 millimeters, you will look at this and then but yeah, first thing first, I just noticed there's no printer selected, so you can what no, not make pattern. Bah. I'm just gonna create like a default printer setup for this. So basically, actually, we'll have like the layout of the build platform, so we can already take a look on how big our model needs to be. And for me, it's like it does not mean that it needs to be absolutely the size that I want to print. It's really more to have like a size to work with that makes sense, that is closer to the size in the real world. So I'll go to printer preference. And right now, Yeah, printers. I'll add one. In this case, we'll go for the Poli. It's a Moai 130. It's supposed to be 130 and by 1. Yeah, I rolled them like so many times that it's called Asura. So I'm just gonna. I think now, before you needed like absolutely to put like a printer software path, but I don't think now you still need it. To be honest with you, I'm putting one just to be sure it will work. Well, we'll know in an instant if it do work. Okay, just give me a second. It's loading something somehow, but I press. Yeah, I don't think we'll load like a printer software because it's really, if you want to use like the print option over here, it will send it like directly to the software. But in our case, we'll use. I'm using Mesh Mixer to do all the cleanup, like first pass scaling and the hollowing. And then once I'm finished with that, then I'll go to Giroux, which is another software that I'm gonna show you. Yeah, just go close this down. I'll go to Giroux to do my supports, and I will explain you why I want to go to Giroux to do that. And it's not Giroux, it's Giroux. Giroux. I'm just gonna wait. I just need to log into the chat because sadly I cannot see what you guys are writing. So. We'll just do add in the meantime. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you need, but it doesn't, if you don't have like any specific software for it, you can just browse and then pick any software. I'll go pick my software. Man, tonight my computer really doesn't like me at all. I apologize for that. I feel like I'm apologizing too much for these days about all that waiting and crashing. But I'm still really glad that you guys still coming back to watch this, even if it must be unbearable. I just hope it's not as painful for you as it is for me. So, okay, I find it. Come on. Okay, so add. So now it's clicked by default and done, and we should see it. Come on. Yeah. So if I zoom back, this is my build plate. So that's why, like you need to be cautious about ZBrush. I know that they got like export plugins for your model, but to be honest with you, I feel like it's way easier to do all that kind of scaling in another software. So just to be workable, I will scale it to be within like this, just to be sure like actually whatever I do, it fits close to the real world metrics. I'm still like looking for my password for the chat. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, so what I'll do like to do this, you just go to transform in edit. Now you got the size over here, and then you got the scale. This is 1, and then I'll go 115. Well, I mean just 15, and see, like already the model is not like displaying properly just because I didn't create okay, but at least it's closer to where we want to get it. If I go 20 just to see, yeah, 20 is even better. So we'll go for 20, which is like, 57 millimeters. I kind of prefer to work in millimeters, but it's, yeah, I know that you can put like whatever scale you prefer. So I'll just press accept. So I just, it's crazy. Yeah, I just logged in into the chat, and I mean, like that's why it's kind of slowing down. So it's awful. Okay, so now I should be fully online. We're still waiting for this, but so now I can see what you guys are writing, and I'm going to do a quick test. See, like now the display problem is a lot better. And once again, like right now, I don't really care if it's oriented in the right position or whatever. This is like the last of my concern for what we'll be doing in a mesh mixer. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. We'll just do. I don't use many options in there, so even if you ask me like, what does like this option do, I couldn't even tell you. It's I use it often, but not for many things outside of the 3 things I mentioned, which are allowing, scaling, scaling the first pass, and allowing. So we'll get it. We'll get there. By 10 o'clock, we'll get there. Okay, so so do you guys can read this, or if not, it's all right. I think I'll just go ahead and stop wasting time. So yeah, so we got like our mesh, it's clipping through the thing, but like I've said, I don't think that's an issue. One of the things that you can do is you go analysis and then inspector. Sometimes it's one of the thing, like it's sometimes I'll solve it. It will just like look into my mesh and flag me any kind of issue, and from there I can always decide, okay, I want to go back to ZBrush and then fix this with like a Dynamesh or deleting, closing, and see a lot of error. That's, on purpose I brought like a mesh that it was like a lot more dirty than the usual, so you guys can clearly see. So you got like many choices basically. If I recall right, when it's purple, I'm just like trying to find one purple, yeah, or pink, like those balls, it means it's a hole in the mesh that needs to be filled in, needs to be capped. If it's a red one, then it's because it's I always forgot. Red one, it's because it's, yeah, it's like it's bad mesh. It needs to be deleted and then close. And the blue one is, I think it's cavities. I'm not sure, but yeah. Basically what you can do is like you can go one by one and click them if you want them like to be removed. Well, removed to be only like specific section to be fixed. You can do like a massive one of the I usually do like a smooth fill, but once again it's kind of really rough smoothing. So if it's like kind of detail that you're afraid that, you know, let's just say like because you know exactly where it's, but let's just say like on the fins over here, like it's you would want like to use this, it might like destroy some of the detail. So perhaps maybe you want to fix those surfaces in ZBrush instead, because you know we'll just do it together. You do a tool repair, and he will try to fix all of those issues by himself. Even if there's like few left, of course, like you know you should always try to remove as much as you can of all the issues. But even if there's like a few left, I mean it will still print. I mean, it will still work out. But since you know resin can be expensive, you don't want to. And there's like so many things, other things that you need to be, you know, that you need to be aware of. That just to be sure you don't fail your prints. That you know, why not minimize all the chances for failure by just doing like everything proper. So right now it's going on a good speed. So you guys are still there. You know, I just opened up the chat and I hope like all my people were still there. That you guys are not, you know, I did not lose you, or you did not like fall asleep because it was taking too long for me to get back online. My mic is still okay. You still Eric by Fred Jackson. Hey Reg, long time no talk. Reg is one of the Reggie is one of my classmates from 2007. That's right. I hope you're well, man. I'm glad you could make it, and I'm glad we can watch this progress bar together. It's so much more enjoyable. So I appreciate it. Shouldn't be long at this point. Of course, the faster your computer, the faster the progress bar. But you know, we can spend quality time together. So it's amazing. Okay. So once it's see right now I'm you know sometimes what happens is like you will do like for a first pass and then he will do like a second pass on his own to take care of all the defects or the majority of them. So shouldn't be long by now. Hello Saru. I got such a hard time. You know, I'm the worst to remember names, but I think I'm even worse. You know, it's even worse when I try to pronounce them. It's you know, and you guys got like so cool and funky names that yeah, I'm probably getting like too old for this. That's why. As old as my computer probably. Yeah. I just hope I'm like way faster than this though. So you guys are working on something right now? Are you like doing any prints or you know? I think the last time that I streamed, like some of the folks were like doing like miniatures, which they were like quite cool. I think they were like doing shields and stuff like that. So almost there. Oh, the last. Okay, we'll get it. I put the smooth fill just to be sure when I doing like something organic, just to be sure we got like you know surfaces that kind of look smooth. But like you see, like this mesh wasn't really meant to be printed, so that's why it's so messy. So right now, you know, like and since it's just like to show you, um, you know, like how it looks, I don't really care if it does a good job or not. But at least you'll be able like to understand the process. And yeah, I'm just for some reason it takes more than more time than the usual. But okay, so still loading. And yeah, the printers like over here, you can add as much as you want. Usually, like I try like to keep all of the printers I own, which right now I only own two. I own like the Moai and the Anycubic Photon. So okay, see, and right now if I zoom out, you see like there's still, you know, small issues. So, but for now that should be good. We'll roll with that. So many of the issues were fixed. Sometimes when you close the holes, you will put like some kind of pink. See, like I think we see it barely, but yeah, barely. But see, like that pink. Usually, it's because we don't have like bigger cavities. But yeah, usually you will tell you by adding like a different color on which part are got like a has been like a filled in or capped. So okay, so we did that. After that, I go back to edit. Then that's where the magic happens. I'll do like a hollow. So from there, you'll basically what you'll do, because we're using resin, and the thing is, if we do like a full solid object, then since like I've said, like resin can be expensive, maybe sometimes we want to hollow our 3D prints, so like it won't cost as much resin to print something. And yeah, and right now, basically what we'll do is like we'll take, well, what mesh mixer will do, you will actually take the mesh that we see there with full details, you will scale down and make like a version that is like a lot more um, decimated or optimized, like basically with barely any detail, and it would be like almost like a pale kind of a replica of the outside, just to be like the inner, you know, inner hollow shape. And from there we'll be able like to create holes for the air to, because you know when we print with resin, it's the mesh is upside down and goes down into the vat, goes up and down and up and down, and because of that it creates like suction, and air can be trapped inside of it, so we will need like holes for the air to come out, or even resin to some extent to come out, and even when we clean it up. And afterwards, like, because one of the thing when we hollow a mesh, it will be, you know, yes, we're saving resin, but at the same time it's going to be more frail because it's only like a eggshell, if you like. So because of that, when we'll be doing the supports, we'll create supports not only outside of the mesh, but inside as well. So we'll have like some kind of scaffolding going on inside of the mesh to give him more rigidity. So yeah, it's a little bit like longer because I'm streaming right now. So of course, like it's my half of my computer is kind of is draining by the video capture. So, but we'll get there. You know, you'll calculate. So yeah, I just want to be sure like everybody's on board with me for as of right now. Like you guys understand why we do this and the process. If you got any questions, you know, feel free to ask. I mean, there's no worry in there. So, but yeah, once you know what, like I've said, like this is really more for like when I say resin printing, it's like more like a, I would say like SLA DLP kind of printers, and not really like the filament kind of the FDM ones, which you know, first off, like filament is a lot cheaper, like having like a coil of filament than liquid resin. So you know, like having it like all load might not be as important as having it for the resin, liquid resin, but yeah, it's something I guess you can do. So yeah, so we'll take a little time to take a look at it. So like you see, we can just see like in the transparent, which is my outside mesh, and then we can see inside. And like you see, like the shape that it's inside, it's really a rough one. And what's cool, it's like right now you see like the fins going out at the top. Just go like sideways, it's easier to see the fins on the at the top, and then the ears. You will not create like a cavity within those because they're already so frail that you want to keep that rigidity, and then the rest of it, since you don't want like any detail inside to cost you like more. First, it will take more time, and second of all, it might take like more resin. You want like just bold form, so that's what we did. So if we look at the menu, we got the offset distance, which is actually the thickness between the outer shell, which is the diesel one, and our inner one. So usually like 2 millimeters for a printer this size, it's quite good. Most of the time I print around like 2 millimeters. You can go thinner if you like, if you want to save more, but that's the thing. The thinner you go, the riskier it becomes. I think if it would be something, I would probably like go higher. But once again, like your mesh needs to be taught in this way. So even if I put like 3 millimeters, all my fins over there and over here won't change thickness. Like if this thing is actually really frail when I print it, it will just be like the distance between the mesh that we currently see inside and the outside. So yeah, just to keep in mind. So you got like the accuracy, which is like the level of approximation of the detail from outside. Right now I don't need something really accurate. It could be even lower if I would bring down the slider. Uh, you got like the mesh density, which is just like the number of polygons that you put inside, which it kind of like go like both ends with the solid and mesh density. And then you got like my favorite part, which is the holes per hollow. So like I've said, like we'll need like to do holes for the air to come out. One of the thing that we can do, since this mesh, it's gonna be probably I'm gonna be putting like the head. Um, well, if we look at the build plate like this, it's gonna be at the top, and then this part, the waist will be at the bottom. I'll explain just after why I do this that way. But yeah, so because of that, I always want like my hollows, my holes, to be at on closer to the bottom of the build plate. In this case, like this gray thing. So I'll try like to put my holes in there. But you can have like holes elsewhere. But it's really more because since it's gonna be near the build plate, it's really like the first part of the print will start with this and then go up. So as soon as the first holes get formed, whatever air that get trapped will always be able like to ventilate, versus if I put like holes in the head, which gonna be like one of the last part that gets printed. So that's why. So right now I get the choice. I can put like 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes, and I think you can put 12 if you like. I'm not sure if that will work, but usually it's between 2 and 3. So in this case, like we'll just go just for the fun of it. We'll put 3. The radius and all that for it. Right now we don't need it. If you change one of those settings, one of those 3 settings at the top, you need to create like an update hollow to refresh, and then when you play with the holes per hollow, like 3, you need to generate the holes. So here are they. That's the hole. So you'll need like to click on the red dot and just drag it where you want it. So usually I try like to hide my holes close to my insertion points. I don't want to put it like inside of the key, but can be close. So I'll put 2 there, and I'll put 1 close to an arm. Yeah, maybe on this side. So you just drag the hole, It's not yet done. It's, you know, it's not all yet, but it's just like an indicator of where it all will be. So right now I know that, you know, just by moving around, I know that this bit is still in the inside arm. So now you can go with the radius and then start to play with that if you want to have like a bigger hole. And that's sometimes it's not like the best way to go with that. It's like sometimes I would rather go with like a smaller hole. Let's just say we keep 2, but you can taper it. So on the outside it will look small, but you know, in the inside it will look it will be bigger, and it creates like that kind of you know, tapered effect that, you know, it if the liquid needs to come out, then it will be easier not to be trapped in there if you put like something like that. So let's just say like this is what we like, just to accept, and yeah, you just wait. It's always a waiting game. Hey Chris, how you doing, man? Are you one of my French people? Or you're pretending to be a French one? It's alright. I like both. Sometimes I get so confused between French and English that I, you know, sometimes I'm like, you know, let's just say I watch like a TV show and I'm like, did I watch this show in French or English? I cannot remember. It's, you know, it becomes like, I guess like anyone that speaks like two languages, like, you know, regularly, like you always get like that kind of confusion, which, you know, you can't remember if you, well, if you talk to someone specific, you can remember if you talk in French or English, depending if what kind of language that person talks. But I mean, if you're listening or even reading something, sometimes, you know, like I can't remember if I read it in French or in my notes. My notes are just like a nightmare. They're just like, you know, I um I wrote my notes like in French and then becomes English and then French and then, yeah. So basically, if someone would check my notes, they would literally understand nothing in there. So, hey, Prashan, man. It's been such a long time. It's awesome to see you. You always got my back, Prashan. I appreciate it, man. Always there when I need you. Yeah, I miss you. It's so much crashing, man. That was hard. Even tonight, man, that was kind of hard, man. Sometimes I'm just like, as much as I like streaming, I feel like sometimes like all crashing and all that stuff. I feel like it's, yeah, I feel it's so unfair for you guys, and even for me, it's like super annoying because, you know, I just want to stream for you guys, but it seemed the computer didn't want. So yeah, so it's part of the, I guess it's part of the challenge, unnecessary challenge, you will say, but you know. So yeah, yeah, we'll just wait a little bit. So just to be sure it creates all. Once again, it's, you know, it's always longer when I'm streaming. So yeah, one of the things that I can show you while it's doing that, the software that I was like talking about for the supports, it's called Sheet 2, and it's a French software as well. Not a French, but a free software. It's Chinese, I think, but it's great. It's really right now. That's the, come on, if it want to show up, it's kind of shy. So yeah, so look for this, like Sheet 2. I'll write it down. Sheet 2 box, and yeah, and this is like, you know, really great. Like for the, you know, I've tried a few ones, and that one is like pretty solid. So I'm just gonna start showing you this while it's creating like the hollows in the back. I'll just put it on my other monitor if it wants, or just leave it there. So yeah, so for this, like once again, you start with the settings right on the side panel. Right now, that's the two printers that I use, but you can always like add a new one. They got like a couple of models, and then you got default if you want to enter your own specs. So in there, basically you got like the resolution, which I don't think I've changed. It's really more like the size ratio, because like you see like in the back, the grid is actually changing size. So this is really important because this will be like my pretty much my final size that I will define in there. So you got like those two things. You got the resin, which that's a neat feature. Basically, you can specify, well, if it's a special or normal. To be honest with you, I'll always put normal. You got like the density, which it's I think it will help for to do the calcul, the I mean the total and all that. But over here you can actually input the resin cost. So I don't know about you guys, but like I often like get asked, let's just say I'll print something, and then like another artist will be like, hey, how much does it cost? Or I like this to be printed, or could you print me? I saw that you printed like this thing over there. Like, could you sell it, to me or something? And every time I get like asked, how much does it cost? And I'm not like talking about like the time I need to invest, just like in resin, like in material. How much does it cost if I look only at the resin? And it's like so hard to evaluate. But over here, what's the cool thing is, like, let's just say I bought like 1 liter of skin colored resin, and I pay like $70. Then I'll put like 70, whatever. It doesn't really matter in which currency, but I know that you can change the currency that you want. There's so many of them. So, and yeah, since I'm in Canada, I put my currency in dollar. Even if I most of the time I buy like my stuff in US. So you got this, and then you got the print, exposure, layer height, all of that stuff. Once again, like I'm gonna give you, well, if I can find it, I'm gonna, yeah, perhaps it will be yeah, I don't want to be looking for this for right now, but yeah, perhaps like in the next stream, I'll try like to already bring out the links. But there's if you go into the Anycubic Photon Facebook group, I know that there's like an Excel sheet where you can find all the kind of different resin tested by the community on this printer, and you have like the values, which values that you should put in for the resin that worked. So I mean, like, because like those values, to be honest with you, sometimes it's hard like to define. So same thing for the Moai. I think there's even like a GitHub for Moai, but I think in the forum you can find like an Excel sheet for the same thing. So you got like all the values and all that. So that's it. And like the infill and advanced, I don't really use it. So, and you can export those profiles and import them. So let's just say like I got a friend who got like a cubic photo on a Moai, and I just want to share my layout. So right now I went with, I'm just gonna go with Photon because we did Photon and mesh mixer. So just gonna check if my guy's actually done. Yeah. So like you see, like right now it cut a hole in it, and we can see inside the really rough mesh. So now we got like a cavity over here, and we should have like two other cavities over there. So, and like I've said, right now the thickness over here is supposed to be 2 millimeters everywhere where the pink mesh is, which was like the transparent, silhouette that we're like seeing inside. So this should be it. Right now we're happy with it, so I'll export. You can go whatever you like. It's an STL format, so this is fine. So torso ZBrush live. So this is exported, so we don't need it anymore. I'm gonna close it down for the sake of speed. And over here you can go open. That's how you import your meshes. still exporting, I think. Yeah. So we'll wait for a few seconds. You guys use Mesh Fixer? Are you some of them? Some of you actually use that software for to treat your models for 3D print, or is it something new? Is it like something that you never heard of before? Or I know that there are like mini softwares out there. You know, if you know if this one doesn't impress you or anything like that, I will just like write down other software that you can check out. There's B9 Creator, there's Flash Print, and there's all supposed to be free. Cura, Mesh Lab, and okay, this is exported, so I'll go back over here, and I'll find our mesh. If it wants to. Okay, so should be loading anytime now. While it's loading, I'll just do a quick check to see if there's like other software. Oh yeah, if you're using like the Anycubic Photon, you should definitely get the Photon file validator from the community, which is on the GitHub. You know, GitHub is like, they write it like that. So yeah, this is our big guy. It's laggy a little bit because I think like this version, usually like when I export, that's one of the things I didn't mention, but I decimate around 750 1,000 750 100,000, yeah, so 750k. I'm typing it in just in case like you guys are missing out, or you just want to copy it for later. So, and right now I don't think I decimated this one, so that's why it's kind of laggy. But yeah, basically I'll start. So basically translation, rotation, and scale. I'm in translation. One of the great things is like, to know if your mesh is too big or too small, you will indicate you in red if you're out of the build space. So whatever scale you want to go for, that's going to be your gauge. So I'm gonna, like I've said, I'm gonna positionate the mesh. And the goal is you want to get as less overhang as possible. So like this here, I don't want it like to be floating. And of course you'll try to keep your supports in like in hidden areas, just to be sure you're not like putting support on top of detail that you'll need to remove later or cut later. And sometimes you need to, but yeah, we'll try like to. So yeah, I'm just something like that shouldn't be that bad. So just for you, like usually what I like to do, just to see if I like the right position, I will flip it right down, because that's the thing that is the most important. Because the build plate that you see at the top. Hey Gallo 86, man, it's been a while. I'm glad you can make it. So yeah, basically the build plate, the way it works, if you look in the just in my webcam, basically the build up, I don't know why I'm pointing this, but basically like the build plate, it will go from the bottom and then it will raise, go. And the way it works, it's gonna be printing like this. It's gonna start like that, then by going up and down and up and down and up and down, and this is how your print will grow. So what you want to be sure when you're going down like this is that you don't have like any floating island in your support. So let's just say like, see, like that's a great example. See, like that bit over here, that's a floating island. So imagine like if this would actually print, this part would just fall into the vat, you know, like this, because that there's nothing holding the you know, like holding that part. So I mean, we live in the physical world with gravity, so that's why we'll need like to put supports on this bit just to be sure when it's growing from the top, like we've seen, we're not losing parts or just not printed. So I'll continue and go, and once again it's cool because we can see inside. So, and once again, like this is like, that doesn't change. It's supposed to be pretty much 2 millimeters all over the border. So that's the thickness that we defined before. So I'll continue to go like this. And you can turn around, you know, I mean, like it's, and this thing you can use it like even after you did the sport. So just to help visualize. So go down and because yeah, the reason why I rotated everything was really because I want to leave as less as possible of supports on the ears or like the frail parts, because I don't want to be to cut them and risk breaking one of those parts, or just like removing some of the, just like a sharp tip. I don't want to be breaking it, but once again, like we'll see how it goes later, and then we'll adjust. So okay, so this should be fine. What you do from now on, it's just gonna